Hey guys, how you going? Hey guys, are you worried about 5G or EMFs? Well, I'd like to introduce you to the sponsor of this video. It's a business who supports the truth. It's EMF harmonized and they sell EMF protection technology. It's like Tesla technology. The technology filters out the harmful RF radio frequency waves and has been scientifically proven to do so. As we use our computers, phones and tablets, the EMFs damage our DNA. In other words, consider getting some EMF protection from the link below, as you'll protect yourself, you'll help the growth of my channel, and you'll help fellow truth supporting businesses. And just so you can see the products for yourself, this is the products. And it gives you, even the website will give you a lot of information. So if you'd like to check it out, the link will be down below. Thanks so much, guys. I appreciate your support. Hey guys, before I start, I would like to thank Jennifer. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Thank you to all my PayPals, Patreons, and everybody for just listening. I really do appreciate that. Okay, let's get on with this. This is just going to be this today because there's a lot here. From Donald J. Trump. I'll be speaking before a very important Pennsylvania State Senate hearing which is in process now, talking about massive voter fraud which took place in the 2020 election. And of course Twitter have put their stupid little thing in there. This from President-elect Digital Soldier. Okay, now if you're still listening to mainstream news, wow. Okay, if you're still listening to mainstream news and you're awake, you're going to be confused and stressed. If you know what Agenda 21 is and what they had planned for us, you are going to be stressed if you still watch mainstream news. Honestly, I suggest turning it off. And there's a reason for that. And this is it. And you can look up this Operation Mockingbird. Go and have a look in YouTube. You'll see lots of videos about it. I did one as well, way back, but all I did was read not WikiLeaks, Wikipedia, and that's said enough on there, let alone what I know about this. Operation Mockingbird, the origins of fake news. Since the 1950s, the CIA has had their hands in controlling many top news outlets for the purpose of spreading false narratives and propaganda. This operation also consisted of bribing journalists to skew public opinion in their favour. It wasn't until 1975 that Operation Mockingbird came to light, but only some of the public realised they'd been duped. It was a massive disinformation campaign that is obviously still in use today, as the news is nothing but scripted news to fit whatever agenda that needs to be created in order to distract the people from the truth. And that's why I say, if you know what's going on and you know what Agenda 21 is, the news will probably stress you out. And seriously, I suggest just turning it off and going to alternative news. You will get a lot better news from them. Even Twitter has better news than the mainstream does, if you follow the right people. This one from Alice. Sidney Powell is about to file regarding massive election fraud on Dominion, foreign and domestic before midnight tonight. It's happening. So it is. That was 4 hours ago. From Dr. Russell McGregor. I suspect we may be getting closer to social media shutdowns. The Democrats, MSM, can't keep taking this much incoming shrapnel. Yes, so just be prepared, guys. If it all goes down, just, you know. And if you watch mainstream news, here's another thing. What we are meant to be here for is to keep everybody calm when they do realise that mainstream news is full of, you know what, rubbish. So, and because they're going to find out about, when they say push pushed to the precipice, that means that on mainstream news, they are going to push everything right to the very, very, very edge. So we have to not fall for it, but it's going to wake all the people who are still sleeping up. They're going to do it themselves. And we were told this would happen way back on the board. If it's on the board, then it's happening. So I can see lots of people waking up around me and realising that things just aren't what we thought they were. Okay, this one from Q Patriot. What if I were to tell you that General Flynn is the Kraken? You never know. I saw someone, Sidney Powell as well, I saw someone comment that there could be a few people that are the Kraken. It could be a team. Like General Flynn, Sidney Powell, who's the other one? Lynn Wood. I can't remember the other ones. I'm so sorry. And this one from Donald J. Trump. It's my great honour to announce that General Michael T. Flynn has been granted a full pardon. Congratulations to General Flynn and his wonderful family. I know you will now have a truly fantastic Thanksgiving. So there you go, release the Kraken. Well, they've released General Flynn. So it very well could be. But yeah, I did see an interesting comment that just said it could be a few people. So just keep that in mind. Okay, from 3 days, 3 nights. If all 210,000 sealed indictments were opened on the same day, it would overwhelm the court system with a 10-year backlog. Constitution requires a speedy and fair trial, but this would now be impossible. Thankfully, military tribunals are allowed if courts can't function. Win. And Sidney Powell is a military prosecutor. And don't be surprised also if we all go into martial law for a certain amount of time. I'm sure they'll keep it to a minimum as possible, but yeah, I hear the US Army is in Australia, and it could be for that very reason, is to help the Australian good guys that are trying to help us, and then we're trying to help by getting the word out. So we'll see how it goes, guys. Anyway, that's all we can do is wait and see what happens. Because everyone can predict anything they want. We just have to wait and see what happens. So, anyway, okay. Major Patriot. Deep State had a bad day today. Here's the thing. That's as good as it's ever going to get for them. And it'll never be that good again. Oh, let's hope so. These people need to be held accountable for what they've done. And I can see it happening in the UK. I was listening to Chancer earlier, and one of their TV personalities have tried to do some damage control, and it's not working very well. So these people are going to start being outed left, right and centre. Once the voting thing is over, it'll move on to the next, which is children. Okay, Awakened Outlaw. What's becoming clear, and as Lynn Wood mentioned, it is that the election fraud scheme was so overly blatant that they knew they'd be caught. Now they deployed a PR MSM scheme to sell the public on the legitimacy of an illegitimate election to serve as a firewall. They need this firewall in place to buttress the next planned op to label Trump in the eyes of the public as the one trying to steal the election that they themselves stole. That's projection. The problem is this affords them only a brief reprieve as the evidence of fraud is overwhelming. And while many judges are serving as roadblocks, the compromised, supporting the PR narrative, it will merely delay the inevitable. This is locked to make its way to the SCOTUS, and with ACB on the bench, the advantage is clearly in Trump's favour. So running out the clock won't work. The real question then is what they have planned since they know Trump actually has the upper hand and they've been caught in a trap. Being well aware that this represents an extinction level event for them, they're now certain to attempt a last-second Hail Mary. What that would look like, one can only imagine. But given it's literally a do or die situation, I guess that it's substantial and bold given the stakes. That being said, Lynn stated that Trump and our patriots are prepared, and I for one trust that we are. Pray for America. And prayers for all of us. I think right now, every country. I'm praying for the whole world because this is ridiculous. What we are all going through, what I'm hearing from people. And this by Jack Posobiec. Trump saying, don't be intimidated by these people. Don't. After watching, again, the Bush Telegraph the other day, and Karen Brewer pointing out how many of our politicians and police chiefs and like ministers and things like that are corrupt, there's no way I'm ever going to be intimidated by them again. They're illegitimate, totally illegitimate. Okay, this from We the Inevitable. Interdasting, that's just something they say instead of interesting. Very dasting indeed. What is it? No pardon, it was case dismissed. Game over. So Flynn wasn't pardoned. It was case dismissed. Because you can't pardon someone who didn't commit a crime. Isn't that right? Am I right or wrong? Anyway, this Trump pardons former National Security Advisor Mike Flynn at Just the News. And Trump did say he pardoned him himself, but this from Jack Flynn and Team Sydney was no pardon, it was case dismissed. So that's interesting. Oh, hang on, there's a whole thread here. Is there? Trump informed the General and his lawyer, Sidney Powell, of the decision Wednesday afternoon ahead of Thanksgiving Day. Yep, okay. From Donald J. Trump, the losers and suckers statement on dead military heroes has been proven to be a total fabrication and lie. It was never made. The anonymous fabricator, who is a major sleaze, went forward with the lie despite 25 strong witnesses to the contrary. Welcome to the Roaring Twenties. A lot of things that the media have said about Donald Trump is a lie. I hope people realise that. From Tiff, at La Tiffany, I should be reading their actual, is that their handle there? Because maybe I'm reading it wrong. Someone said to me the other day I'm not reading their names. And I thought, well, I'm reading, but is this the bit I should be reading? Okay, you can let me know down below anyway, guys. Watching at OANN Live, stuff is about to hit the fan. They're all going down. Oh, forensic experts point to insurmountable, undeniable fraud. Trump won by a landslide and will be inaugurated. And this one, from the stakes have never been higher. And Sean Gordanen said, we need warriors with courage to say and do the right thing. America is at crossroads of history, and this era will not judge us kindly if we aren't prepared to fight for what our country was founded upon. Remember, history is written by the victors. Okay, guys, hang on a sec. I'll set this up. Okay, let's play this.
Alexander Hamilton said, a nation which can prefer disgrace to danger is prepared for a master and deserves one. Now let's set the record straight. There's no argument over the choice between peace and war, but there's only one guaranteed way you can have peace, and you can have it in the next second. Surrender. Admittedly, there's a risk in any course we follow other than this, but every lesson of history tells us that the greater risk lies in appeasement. And this is the specter our well-meaning liberal friends refuse to face, that their policy of accommodation is appeasement. And it gives no choice between peace and war, only between fight or surrender. If we continue to accommodate, continue to back and retreat, eventually we have to face the final demand, the ultimatum. And what then? Well, Nikita Khrushchev has told his people he knows what our answer will be. He has told them that we're retreating under the pressure of the Cold War, and someday, when the time comes to deliver the final ultimatum, our surrender will be voluntary, because by that time, we will have been weakened from within spiritually, morally, and economically. He believes this because from our side he's heard voices pleading for peace at any price, or better read than dead, or as one commentator put it, he'd rather live on his knees than die on his feet. And therein lies the road to war, because those voices don't speak for the rest of us. You and I know and do not believe that life is so dear and peace so sweet as to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery. If nothing in life is worth dying for, when did this begin? Just in the face of this enemy? Or should Moses have told the children of Israel to live in slavery under the Pharaohs? Should Christ have refused the cross? Should the patriots at Concord Bridge have thrown down their guns and refused to fire the shot heard round the world? The martyrs of history were not fools. And our honored dead, who gave their lives to stop the advance of the Nazis, didn't die in vain. Where then is the road to peace? Well, it's a simple answer after all. You and I have the courage to say to our enemies, there is a price we will not pay. There is a point beyond which they must not advance. Alexander Hamilton said, a nation which can prefer disgrace to danger.
Sorry, guys. I agree. I would rather die on my feet than live on my knees, to be honest. Okay, the number of Obama officials implicated in corruption that Biden proposes to add to his team is astounding. There you go. So all the corruption that's just been slowly emptied out of the government would be emptied back into the government. Poured back in, actually. But anyway, well, luckily, hopefully, that won't happen. And I don't believe it will. Biden's not the president. Sorry. Jim Core, mandated vaccines means child abuse, plain and simple, by Emma Kenny. Okay. And let's watch this one.
20,000 people are damaged by vaccines, meaning that compared to the amount of children damaged by COVID, there is no comparison. Vaccines will damage more children than they will help. So Qantas are advocating for the willful harm of children. Is that what you want your next year's strapline to be? Qantas willfully injures children. Fly with Qantas, but we might just injure your kid. Really bad marketing strategy. Do your research. Mandated vaccines mean child abuse. Pure and simple.
And that's because Qantas, here in Australia and all over Europe, and anywhere else they may be, are going to mandate vaccines before you get on their planes. So I'm in for a boycott of Qantas. Not that I fly anywhere anyway. I don't fly anywhere. I have not flown anywhere since I was a kid, and there's a reason for that. I don't like heights. Okay. Art taking back. Patriots in California protesting after 10 p.m. in Gavin Newsom's neighbourhood. Okay, let's watch this one. That's pretty good. Good on them. And it's from VB. Okay, now this one from N1 Nasty One says, I know that many of you are feeling deflated at this moment in time. I feel the same way too, but now more than ever we need to pick one another up. This is a war and we are the front line.
But
Digital war. Oh. We're in digital war and we're the front line. No one said this was going to be easy, so stand up and fight on. If you need to take a rest, take a rest. Okay, guys? Listen to this guy. And he says it pretty well. He does well.
Hey, mind if I take a seat? Appreciate it. Been on this road for a while, huh? Yeah, I get that. And it's been real tough for you. I get that too. But you're not quitting today. See, the enemy wants you to think that you're defeated right now and that you should give up. It's a lost cause. You're never going to make it. Those are all lies. And that's why I'm here, is to tell you that you're going to make it. And you're not giving up today. This is just a rest stop. In fact, you continue to rest a little bit longer. But don't you quit. You get up and you head back down that road. And I'll see you at the next rest stop, okay? God bless.
You are the reason why I'm still.
How good is that? I thought that was really, really well done, and I think a lot of people need to hear that, you know, to be honest. I know people are tired. Believe me, I feel it too, but I don't know what's keeping me going. Something is. Anyway, this from Chook Chook at Parler Chook. She's wondering what's going on because of these flights. Where are they going to? Okay. That is weird. And that is even weirder. What are they doing? See, they do this too, and then it comes up our way. If that's chemtrails, they do this and then it comes straight up towards New South Wales. Look at all the plane activity. But you see, someone was saying maybe these are US. Some of these might be US planes. Hang on a sec. Where are they? It could be mapping, and they could be mapping for smart cities. Last Saturday over Melbourne. People think they are spraying again. Aerial photo mapping. And there's some... That was from Tennessee. Smart city scanning seems to be the popular theory here. There was another one. Someone was saying that a lot of them is, hang on, VHDS centres operated by Australian Pilot Training Alliance. They do training as well. Chook Chook says that's not training. I'd say they contracts due to do this type of work while their planes are idle. And then the Yarra Forest was blacked out, getting ready for a big burn-off of 2021. Oh dear God, please no. Please don't do that again. It's bad enough. Well, a lot of places near me right now have been burnt where I am. So we don't need any more. And then people are saying if that's not a spraying pattern, I don't know what is. Some people heard they're drones for water seizure or something. Okay, well, it's not in there. I was wondering if it was collecting people. That's what my thoughts were on that. But no, it could be just what they're saying. Anywho, let's keep going. Bards FM Says a Kraken article retweeted by POTUS. We call that a confirmation. Sidney Powell's Kraken is DoD cyber warfare program. Holy radar, that's the Kraken. Who knew it as a Department of Defense cyber warfare program? It tracks systems and acquires evidence of nefarious activities and crimes committed by the deep state. When Sidney Powell has stated she has released the Kraken, most of us thought Clash of the Titans and cheered her on for a gutsy remark. She never blinked and held a stern and serious face when she said it. She wasn't joking, and now we know why. The Kraken is a Department of Defense-run cyber warfare program that tracks and hacks various other systems to acquire evidence of nefarious actions by the deep state. President Trump and the loyal patriots in the Military and Space Command now have all the evidence of voter fraud and election-related treason. This will be used against the enemies of America. What we are witnessing with the 2020 elections is not an election. We are witnessing the attempt of the overthrow of the United States government. The CIA, FBI and DOJ are full of treasonous swamp rats that are intent on stealing the presidential seat and taking over America for the global order. They are wicked globalist puppets who are boldly pushing their coup to destroy America and implement a global reset and usher in United Nations Agenda 2030, which is the revised version of Sustainable Development Agenda 21. They are in lockstep, throwing all their punches at unsuspecting Americans while nations around the world are doing the very same lockdowns on their citizens. Will they succeed? The answer is no. A warning from Acting Secretary of Defense Chris Miller. Should any maligned actors underestimate our resolve or attempt to undermine our efforts, we will not hesitate to restore deterrence and defeat any and all threats. Certain sectors of Special Force operations are now reportedly directly to Acting Defense Secretary Chris Miller. They are aligned with Trump, the Constitution, and the defending of America against its enemies, both foreign and domestic. So don't panic and fear not. President Trump is in control and the battle lines are drawn. The Kraken has been released and it has everything. Special Forces assets are now being deployed to take down America's domestic enemies and traitors. And there's the... what is it? Something else? Oh, the network. Systems and EMBM needed for new sensing techniques and for manoeuvre. Okay. Sidney Powell declared that an algorithm was plugged in to steal votes from President Trump during the election, which is exactly what the truth-bearing media has been warning about for over a decade. Elections have been rigged for at least the last 20 years and probably longer. Fake news and the entire media cartel continues to lie to America and withhold all the overwhelming evidence of election fraud. This is nothing short of assisting in a government overthrow. Treason is the only way to describe it. However, I'm sure that some believe what they are told to read and others who are clueless and just go to work, do their job and collect a paycheck. The same as the grunts committing voter fraud on the front lines by following illegal procedures as though they were authentic and legal. Many just don't know and others simply don't care. As long as fake news continues to lie to the American public, it's nothing short in a time of war such as we are into as an act of betrayal and considered enemies of the people. Now, I'm not shouting for war, it's already been declared, and those who resist have been told re-education awaits them, along with other horrid ideas the left has been leaking out daily. It's all really, really bad and not to be laughed at. Jeffrey Prather explains the Kraken and describes the Great Reset versus the Awakening. He has released a bombshell video where he sums up the real war taking place behind the scenes, the Great Reset versus the Great Awakening. As he explains it, the CIA, FBI and DOJ are all treasonous swamp creatures who are dedicated to bringing down America, stealing the election and imprisoning all the real patriots such as General Flynn and Roger Stone. Meanwhile, certain sectors of Special Forces operations, and now Chris Miller as Acting Defence Secretary, are all aligned with Trump, the Constitution, and defending America against its enemies, both foreign and domestic. And that's crack and crew. To think that the deep state has infiltrated so deep it had operatives at every stronghold, and to consider, let alone to know, it is a fact that the deep state was so bold to pull a massive government takedown on the scale they are attempting is more than disturbing. Wake up, people, and call these globalists out now and help save the United States of America and the world at large. That was by Diane Marshall. And what's next? Oh, it's from Swim Mum. All eyes on this. Okay, it's something to do with power. Daryl Ney at QAnon. Edison may cut off power to Southern California homes on Thanksgiving to prevent fires. You've got to be kidding. They're not doing that again, are they? They've done this before. Okay, well, they're showing you the Agenda 21. Bombshell. Hunter Biden email names Kamala Harris, others as key contact for joint venture with China Energy Company. It really is a deep swamp. And Melissa Tate at Stop the Steal. 2020 is the year of the Great Reset. The only question is, will it be God's reset under President Trump, an era of freedom, victory and God's revival, or Satan's reset under Biden and his globalist handlers who seek to lock down, bankrupt and enslave humanity? My money's on God. Okay, Nancy Hall. So Bill Gates sits on Costco's board of directors and his fifth major share is Walmart. No wonder the big box stores are open and we have to shut down all small businesses. That explains a lot. And it would be interesting to look at our big stores that were kept open during the lockdown and look who owns them, who's on the board of directors, and that can be done through just a Wikipedia search as well of the company. From Yig Starhouse, food for thought. Sydney Powell has to separate herself from the Trump campaign because what she is investigating is now deemed a matter of national security. The machines and software were used to undermine elections in foreign countries and have done so for decades. There is now a major conflict of interest which could lead to World War III if not contained properly. By law, the military has the authority to take over the election fraud investigations. Much of what Obama installed during his reign of terror was created to help HRC permanently collapse what's left of the Republic. She was supposed to win. Clock started. That's interesting. Protect Australia's food and fibre security. Not on my watch. Never give up. Never give in and never give up. From the Punisher, Inc. Patriot Warriors. I will just come right out and say this. Don't freaking give up the fight. This is not a game. This is not going to be painless for anyone. You don't cut and run when the road gets tough. You just get meaner, more aggressive and more determined to win it all. Now, why do I say this? Because over the last few days I've talked to others that were supposedly hardcore in with Trump in our cause, telling me it's over and to face the facts that the fix is in. That retarded Biden is going to be in office. Now, to me, this fight isn't over until we have all these traitors accounted for and secure, to be dealt with accordingly. If you know anyone that is in doubt, do your part in keeping the fight in them. I know that we're all tired of the BS, but that's exactly what they want us to get. Tired and give up. Not on my watch. Never give in, never give up. This is our defining moment in history. And I agree with that too. It's going to be hard. Really hard. It's not going to be easy. Okay, then from George News, looks like Christmas will come early this year from Chanel Rion at OAN, or Chanel Rion, sorry, at OAN. My interview with @Bryce Byrne, the tech investor behind the elite shadow cybersecurity team digging up incontrovertible evidence of election fraud. This is the cyber data behind the Kraken. And Tech Millionaire Funds hacking team. So there you go. It'll all start coming out, guys. And this one from Melissa. Listen and hold the line. Lou Dobbs, do you think we're going to see the Trump presidency saved? Sydney Powell says, yes, I definitely do. There's no issue in my mind, but that he was elected in absolute landslide nationwide. And I won't play that because that's Fox News. And then this one from CJ Truth. Trump was picked for such a time as this. As the Luciferian left and media has attacked him, he continues to thrive and win. Continue to stand in the gap for this country and this president. The world thinks things of God are foolishness. At God won.